What exactly is a candidate? Well, the big billers know that candidates are not just people who apply to them via advertisements in the press or on the internet. Now, by knowing how to find candidates for free, I make more placements. Knowing how to find candidates gives you tremendous confidence when you take a difficult assignment. So where does this confidence come from? Well, it comes from an acute awareness that candidate generation is one of the big keys to success. Think about the icebreaker that we all tend to use when we're introduced to new people. What do you do for a living? What kind of work do you do? So candidate generation is not something limited to your work environment. It's an ongoing process. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you should be thinking about finding candidates to fill outstanding vacancies or future vacancies. Now, let me share with you an interesting statistic. Some years ago, I read in the Harvard Business Magazine that there was a survey on the service industry. If you give good service, 5% of people will recommend you because of that good service. However, if you give good service and you ask for a recommendation, the statistic rises to 50% plus. Think about the hundreds of people that you talk to throughout the day, and think about how you could have maximized those conversations by simply asking for a referral. So let me share with you a story of when I was setting up a division within one of the companies I worked for. It was a brand new division, and I didn't have too many candidates on my database that had the relevant skill set within the banking field. I remembered the Harvard Business Magazine statistic, and I decided that every candidate that I spoke to, by telephone, in a meeting, just general conversation, I'm going to focus on obtaining a referral from them. So I picked up some business from a major investment bank, one of the top investment banks on Wall Street. There were 2 other recruiters working on this assignment, and I decided to work it on the basis that I could penetrate the client and take the business. When I came back to my office, I was thinking, how am I going to fill this position? Very few candidates on my database. And I decided to focus on referrals. So the first person that called in was a guy called Rob. Rob calls me, and he's found an assignment. He's very happy. Things are going well for him. At the end of the call, I said to him, Rob, I wonder if you can help me. I'm working on an assignment which is doing nostril reconciliations for a major Wall Street investment bank. It's a terrific opportunity for the right person. They're prepared to train, and the money will be potentially increased as your assignment goes along. Who do you know who can do that job? And he said to me, well, there's a guy called Stuart who I worked with recently, and I'm sure he'd be very interested in that role. So I called Stuart. He was interested straight away. 7:30 a.m. the next morning, he's in my office. I interview him. 12 o'clock, he's down to see the client. And 2 o'clock, the client calls me and says, we like this guy and we'd like him to start tomorrow. So a very simple placement.